Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing very well today. As you know, on my channel, I love to feature all sorts of guitars from entry level, beginner guitars, all the way to handcrafted works of art from really well-known brands to super obscure brands. If it's cool, if it's unique, if it's interesting, I do my best to find it and share it on the channel. Such as the case today, we've got something really incredible in the box. Let's check it out. All right, you guys, let's open it up and find out what's in the box. Well, without any further ado, it's time to find out what's in the case. This is always such a great moment. Here we go. Let's take a peek inside and find out what kind of guitar is in here. Well, you guys, here it is. Here's a closer look at the guitar. What exactly do we have? Well, we have open pore finish, aged hardware, beautiful block inlays. And what exactly is the guitar? Well, here we go. This is a Pauletti. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Pauletti actually makes my signature guitar. This is the Stratospheric DB model. Really incredible instrument. It's got that 130-year-old chestnut body covered in sunburst and then covered in black. And then it's worn down so you can see the black, you can see the sunburst, and you can see the natural chestnut. So really incredible guitar. And as you guys may notice, well, this guitar looks very similar aesthetically. And well, there's a good reason for it. Right, so why exactly do these guitars bear a very similar resemblance? Well, that's because Pauletti asked if I'd be interested in doing a custom DB version of their 131 guitar shape. And if you look right here, the 131s look absolutely incredible. Gorgeous finishes on them all. So whatever aesthetics you prefer, they can do, of course. But yes, let's go through some of the very quick specs on the DB 131. Here we go. Right, so let's check out some of the highlights on the 131. Of course, I'll link to it down in the video description below for full specs, but here are some quick highlights. Now, first thing to note, yes, of course, it does look very much like a Gibson SG, but it is unlike an SG in, well, pretty much every way. So that's the first thing to note. Secondly, well, these are Paulettis, so they're very traditional guitars. They use 130-some-year-old chestnut wood, and you get, yeah, that open pore finish that just looks absolutely incredible. So that's the first thing to note. They're very traditional and they use very custom woods. Now on the headstock, here's a look at the shape just so you guys can see that. We do have a truss rod cover up here on my Stratospheric. It's traditional, so you have to like remove the neck and then adjust like the old like 50s Fenders. This one you do have right there, a little easier to change the truss rod right there. And of course it uses the same metals that you find on all Paulettis that will age over time with your fingers. Just as you play and some of your oils and stuff get on the finishes and the pickups, they'll just age to your playing. So it's really cool. Next up, of course, bone nut. So that is absolutely awesome for great tuning. Almost no tilt back on this. Very different than a Gibson. And it's a maple neck, so it's very, very strong. Next up, we got to talk about the neck. As you can see, it's a roasted maple neck and it's bolt-on. So again, yeah, very different than an SG, of course. So there's a look at it there. And the profile, very comfortable, rounded profile. So yeah, easy grabbing in the hand for sure. But that's a look at the back of the neck. The showstopper in, well, I'll say one of the showstoppers of this guitar is the fingerboard. Man, incredible wooden inlays. Just make it stand out. And when you look back, yeah, just looks incredible. So I definitely knew I wanted this on the DB version of the 131. And then we have, of course, aged pickups, aged pickguard, and of course, matching tailpiece and bridge. So yeah, it all just has that really worn in look. Very beautiful. And of course, if you've ever seen a Pauletti, you cannot ignore the shotgun shell knobs. One of the hallmarks of the Pauletti, and in this version, you do have the coil splits right there. So you can split those humbuckers for a little bit more added versatility, just like so. Now, beyond all that stuff, there's a couple other elements that make this really unique. Number one, it's Pauletti's first short scale length guitar, which means vibrato, easy bending, those big smooth bends, really, really easy to play. And as one of the DB things, on my Stratospheric, I requested that they do rolled fingerboard edges because these guitars are very, very traditional. So some of them had just straight edges, so I requested that we get nice, easy rolled fingerboard edges. they're here as well. So I hope that they start including them on all the Pawletti models, because I just think it's just such a nice premium feel. So you do get the rolled fingerboard edges here that are very smooth. You do get the short scale length, and of course no plastics on this guitar at all. That wouldn't do. So here, got the CTS pots under there, and of course aged metal, just like the rest of the guitar, nice and flush there. So even on the back, it just looks incredible. And this guitar here comes in at 7.9 pounds. The chestnut is a pretty heavy wood. It's not really associated with guitars, which is again what makes Pawletti really cool. So there's actually no headstock dive on this guitar either, which is like definitely an SG thing. You know, SG bodies are so light that the headstocks tend to just bonk, do like that, and then you end up like holding them up while you're trying to move and play with your left hand, and it's just a whole thing. So there's actually no headstock dive either here. So yes, we got minimal tilt back, which is going to be great for tuning. We've got a strong roasted maple neck, chestnut body, no headstock dive. So I think it's stronger. I think it balances better. So yeah, definitely some huge advantages over just like a standard SG. All right, you guys, it is time. Let's plug it in and find out what this guitar sounds like. So here are my initial thoughts, having just unboxed and played the DB131 for the very first time. Well, typically I'm not an SG guy, and for the reasons I kind of listed at the beginning of the video. I've cracked a Gibson headstock before, just felt sick to my stomach. It's not a good feeling. That 17-degree headstock angle just makes you fight with the tuning and makes you, aware that your guitar is somewhat of a fragile instrument. Not the case here. As I mentioned, almost no tilt back, and it's maple. It's ultra strong. It's bolt on, so if there's any sort of issues, well, you're covered there, and there's no headstock dive, so it balances better, and yeah, it's much, much stronger. So, and in terms of the tones, nice versatility here. I love the Paletti pickups. They're really good at making pickups, whether it's the single coils or the humbuckers. They've got them down, and aesthetically, it's just, you know, whether you like it or not, but I really like that heavy black worn down to show that it's been repainted with sunburst underneath. I think that just looks cool. And then straight down to the chestnut right there. So really interesting instruments. They've done a great job aging the hardware to match. So everything just is a beautiful, yeah, it just flows together in a nice package aesthetically. So yeah, love the looks of it. Sounds great. A little bit more versatile than just straight humbuckers with the coil splits, whether you'll use them or not. It's really nice to have just in case you need to cover something that the humbuckers don't. And other than that, it's a Paletti, so it's built to perfection. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Paletti is a great company to work with. They'll do whatever custom stuff you want, so absolutely fantastic. They make incredible guitars. I will link to them down in the video description below. You can check it out there. Other than that, have yourself a great day. Take care.